Today we're at Shake Shack because they brought back two of their more popular burgers from last year, and they did bring it back in a chicken variation as well. So I got 3 different sandwiches. We got an order of their kinda new fries, and then they have 3 new shakes. I only got 1, which is their Campfire S'mores shake. So that is what's on the agenda today, man. Drop a thumbs up. You guys already know the vibes, and let's get into this video. Just a disclaimer so I don't waste anybody's time. If you're looking for an as-is review of this burger, I detest pickles, so I didn't get pickles on my burgers. This has fries pickles, which I'm sure people want to know about. You're not gonna get the answer from me. I do like trying different foods, so if you're looking for as is, I appreciate y'all, but we ain't got it today. But if you're still here, let's try some food. So this is their Carolina BBQ Burger. It is a burger with their Carolina style barbecue sauce on a toasted potato bun with some applewood smoked bacon, pepper jack cheese, which I'm a big fan of. I remember like slightly saying that this burger, it's good, but it's not Carolina style barbecue sauce from the one I'm used to, which was much more vinegar based. But that's why we're here again. Also, they definitely stepped their game up on how they make the burgers. I just have to say this first and foremost. For a place that I used to like really not like, they have stepped their game up and they make their burgers much better. Unlike Five Guys, which I'm still more of a bigger fan of, they do season their patties and they have a nice lattice on this outside. Nice char marks. The bacon in here nice and crispy. And I'm going to stand by what I said last year. What they're calling a Carolina barbecue sauce, to me, it tastes a lot like Georgia Gold. If you're familiar with like KFC's Georgia Gold, or just any Georgia Gold, where it's very tangy and a little sweet. But every Carolina style barbecue sauce I've ever had has like a much more of a vinegar base to it. And mustard, this is more a mustard with a kick, but not a vinegar one. But there are different kinds of Carolina style barbecue sauce, so maybe that's what threw me off. Do I like this burger? Yep. It's very good. Potato bun cooked well, seasoned, bacon's crispy, pepper jack cheese, tangy and sweet barbecue sauce. They make a very solid burger. Very solid. And I'd give that an 8 out of 10. It's pretty good, man. Maybe I should have got a double patty. I always feel like when I get the single, I don't have enough burger. But that's what I chose. I should probably try this before I start moving on, before this thing starts melting. But this is their Campfire S'mores shake. It's one of their 3 new shakes that they have. It has graham cracker, chocolate, and toasted marshmallow fudge. Toasted marshmallow fudge chunks. There's no comma there. That sounds pretty cool. All right, let's try it out. You know, I've been on record saying this a bunch of times. I don't really care for Shake Shack shakes. I'm usually not the biggest fan of them. The weird aftertaste. This is one of the best s'mores things I've had in a long time. I'm always complaining about s'mores. I don't feel like they capture the balance of graham, marshmallow, and chocolate. This does. Not just that, but it does have a little bit of that toasted flavor, but it doesn't taste like charred, like this Breyer's ice cream I had the other day. This, I get a little bit of graham, a little bit of marshmallow, and some chocolate in every single sip that I'm having. This is easily the best shake that they've had at Shake Shack. I'm usually not a fan of their shake, so if I say it, I'm giving credit where it's due. Wow, nice job. I'll give this a 9 out of 10. I'm shocked. I never liked their shakes, like never. Next up, we have their Smokey Classic BBQ Burger. This is much more along the lines of what you would get at most places when they serve barbecue burgers, but this is American cheese, applewood smoked bacon, crispy onions, and their smoky barbecue sauce, and pickles, if you want them, but I don't. So this is much more of your classic version. I think I say this every time. They should have the option to customize this stuff at Shake Shack, and they really don't, where you can't just put whatever you want on a burger, because I would love to see that Carolina Gold with the crispy onions and the bacon and even some cherry peppers, which you can add to anything. But either way, again, lattice, the cook on this, American cheese, looks good. I'm gonna tell you what, this might, depending on your taste buds, be really upsetting for some people. They almost burnt my bacon. For me, I love damn near burnt bacon. Like, when it's super crispy and damn near burnt. That was crispy. That's how I cook my bacon. You can say I overcook it. I don't care. I like it that way. The crazy part is there's not that much of that barbecue sauce on here, where the other one had a ton of it. Their barbecue sauce isn't very sweet. It's more of a smoky, tangy flavor without the sweetness. So I could see some people not liking that. Not my preference, but I don't mind it. I do wish there was more of it. But with the crispy onion straws and that burnt ass bacon as a compliment, this is a hell of a burger. Again, this is a complete preference. They're not going to burn your bacon more than likely. But for me, man, that's what it's about. I like this one better, but for things that I don't think they were advertising, I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. Burnt bacon is not on the menu. I wanted to try this because I didn't last time, but they have a chicken sandwich version of that same Smokey Classic BBQ. This is a Smokey Classic BBQ chicken, so it's the exact same sandwich, just with a chicken patty. They must have switched managers or something. I never like their chicken. This is easily, I don't know if my mic's going to pick this up, easily the best breading I've had on their chicken sandwich this whole time. It's really crispy. And it's really juicy on the inside. Every time I've had their sandwiches, they've been ass. That's why you try things, man. Still really juicy on the inside. I'm not going to say this is a perfect sandwich because the breading it's crispy, but it's not seasoned at all. But when you add the barbecue sauce, the bacon, 2 slices of cheese on here, it makes up for having that. Potato, I'm highest score I've given a chicken sandwich at Shake Shack, because I'm in shock right now, but I'm still going to say it. And the bacon, while it's not completely burnt, it's still on the burnt side. I'm going to give that an 8.7. I'm very shocked. This might just be a one-off where they were just on their stuff today. Because their chicken sandwiches are usually incredibly dry. But the barbecue sauce works better on the chicken than the burger. It's not elite, but it's better than anything I've had in a while as far as chicken sandwiches go from any of these places. And finally, we have their spicy fries with ranch. Whenever they do specialty fries, you can always get it with cheese or not. I got it with cheese this time. And 9 times out of 10, it's like a seasoning. So there's a spicy seasoning on the top here. And you just get a side of this packaged, ranch. Like, it's not going to be anything too crazy. But I rarely get cheese fries at this place, because I felt like I didn't like it last time. But I don't remember. So I said, let's try it again here. I'll tell you what, though. I'll give them this. The spicy seasoning, it's got a kick. I also got a bite with a lot of seasoning on it, because they put a liberal amount on here. Their cheese is very cheese whizzy, and I'm not the biggest fan of that. But when you have the spicy seasoning, at least it doesn't just taste like straight cheese whiz. Let's try the ranch. Yeah, it's not bad. I usually do not like Shake Shack like this. It still ain't better than Five Guys, but it is easily at this point number 2 at like exclusively burger joints, like your smash burgers and stuff like that. So far, I give it a 2. Five Guys still my favorite, but their spicy seasoning is like a kick of what just seems to be a ton of cayenne, maybe a little bit of garlic powder, and maybe paprika's in there too. It's nothing fancy, but it's really cayenne based. There's a ton of cayenne, and because of that first bite, I was like, ooh. But the cheese whiz I could do without. But I would get that spicy seasoning on their fries. Their crinkle cuts, they do cook really well every single time, and they always salt them well. I never had a problem with them. I just have better preferences with fries and with seasoning, but they're decent fries. I give these a 7 out of 10. I'm not mad at them at all. I had a whole video on the second channel about nuance and about how people usually have like this blind either loyalty or dislike for certain things. I try not to do that, which is why sometimes when I do things at Shake Shack, I'm trying things like 5 different times. I've always said I'm not the biggest fan of Shake Shack, but they do have some good stuff on their menu. It's just not my preference when it comes to burgers. And you'll always get people being like, oh, well, Shake Shack is trash. Like, I've tried whole menus of most of these restaurants, and it's very rare that a restaurant is like, nothing is good on the menu. If you're talking about prices and stuff, that's a different argument for me. There's definitely a value for dollar thing, but I try to base my reviews more around taste unless the price is like egregious in one way or the other. Like if it's super cheap and it's a great deal, I'll factor that in. And if it's something that is like, you know, this burger costs $19, it better be good at that point where it's like way out of the realm of the norm. Most burgers from these chains, Shake Shack's burgers are the same as Five Guys price-wise. People don't really realize that because people order regular cheeseburgers at Five Guys. That is a double. Whereas you get the little one, because they're called little, that's a single. A single at Shake Shack and Five Guys are pretty much the same price. Now, it depends on what you get on it, but that's about the norm for all these places, including Smashburger and everything else. I feel like I would know that because I go to most of these places. So I try to review things with as much nuance as possible. I try to give as much details as possible because I understand that we may not have the same taste buds, which is why I will describe things and say, well, you might like that more than me. I don't necessarily care for this. Wendy's burger, for example, recently they had a mustard burger. I said, I'm a mustard fan. There's a huge mustard kick in this. It's not a honey mustard. So if you're not a person who likes mustard on chicken, you're not going to like this. But I do. And that's why I do that. So if you're looking for someone to review things where it's just like, I like this and you should too, I don't think that this is necessarily that kind of thing. And I don't have blind loyalty or dislike for places. I'll give you an example because I'm looking at it right now. It's over there. I love Chili's. You watched my last Chili's video? I didn't like half the items there. And I always, in that same video, I said I love Chili's. But doesn't mean you like everything there. And on the other end of that spectrum, we have a place like Subway, which anybody who's not new knows that I really don't like Subway. I don't like most of the stuff in that menu. And overall, I don't like it. Watch my last 4 or 5 Subway videos I've done because I'll still do it. I don't dislike everything. And in some of those cases, I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty good. I try to do reviews with nuance. Shake Shack, I've probably done like 6 videos in the last couple of years on. More than oftentimes than not, I'm not completely satisfied. But the last 2 times, I have been. And this is another instance. This was very good. Not just pretty good, but very good. To the point that this last time, compared to the Five Guys I had, it's closer than I would think. Still like Five Guys better, but really not bad. So Shake Shack, nice job with these. But that's going to be the end of the video, man. We'll be back tomorrow. More content, man. Hand signs. They made it to YouTube.